Well, hello guys. Today we're going to be looking at, oh please, it would help me out a lot if you subscribe. Appreciate it. Growing community. We're going to be looking at doing an upgrade of an Angular 7 app to Angular 8. Yeah, there's a few reasons, of course, that you might want to do it. Obviously being on the latest version and so forth, but by the end of this video, I'm going to have you thinking about something. Is it worth moving up or not? Because I've discovered a little something, but it might be small to you, but let me take you through the path and see what we come up with. Excuse my audio recording, it's not very good. Something happened, somebody fiddled on my machine, and well, something is not very good there. Okay, so we were looking at my current project, which is my actual main website, dimension15.co.za. There's a plug for you. Okay, so the first thing, this thing is running, it's a Windows 7, Angular 7 app. And if we say ng version here, okay, it'll tell you that it's an Angular 7 app, okay? Your local version is Angular 7.3.9, but your installed version is 8.3.4. So this machine actually has Angular 8.3.4 on it, but the project that we're working in is got 7.3.9. The reason for that is I brought it in using Git, where I originally developed it using Angular 7, and checked it in there, and then checked it out here with Angular 8 on it. So someone trying to get hold of me there for a moment, but okay, so yes, that's the whole thing. We've got to upgrade from 7 to 8. Okay. The other thing I want to do is I don't just want to upgrade Angular itself, or check that Angular is on the latest version before I do the upgrade. So let me rephrase that. Before I do the upgrade from 7 to 8, I want to make sure that I've got the latest version of 8 on my machine. And in order to have the latest version of 8, I also need to make sure I've got the latest version of NPM on my machine, Node Package Manager. So, okay, we can go and have a look at that. It is somewhere in my history here. That's not what we want. Okay, so we do an npm update -g for global. We're updating everything. Sudo is required. I suppose on Windows you have to be an administrator, but yeah, on Linux we just run a sudo, and it'll do a check if there's anything to update for npm. It'll let you know, and let that go through. Okay, it's doing its check, and yeah, as expected, it found nothing because I did actually upgrade very recently. Okay, the next step then is to do the Angular update, but that's also in my history here. Where do we have this now? Come on, I've got so many things that I was doing today, and I didn't feel like going through everything again. Sorry, I'm wasting a little bit of time here. Let's just get to the beginning again. There we go. All right, so to install the latest Angular CLI, okay, we use npm to do the installation. Again, we specify -g for being global, and run it as sudo. And if there is anything new, it'll install it. And but this also was updated quite recently, so I should be on the latest. I don't think it's going to download anything, but let's see. Oh, okay, it found one little thing to download. And then, yes, it asks you, do you wish to give Google some information, etc., etc. No, the default is no if you just press enter. But I'm going to make 100% sure, and I'm actually going to type in N for no and press enter. Okay, so Angular is updated as well. So if we say ng --version, it does say a little bit up on the screen there, but let's just do it this way. You know, ng version, okay. And there it says, okay, so we're on 8.3.4, and in our actual application here, when we had a look, it told us also we're on 8.3.4. So we had a minor little update there, but nothing serious. Okay, and all right, so we've got the latest NPM, we've got the latest Angular, and we've got the yeah, and then our application we now want to upgrade from 7 to 8. Now remember, Angular projects, it lives in a folder, in a directory. Okay, so when you use, like in my case now, I'm using Visual Studio to do my Angular development. What happens is you have to open Visual Studio in the folder in which your Angular application is lying, so you can pick it up, etc., on the left hand side here and so forth. So when it's picking up that this application is Angular 7, is because in the local folder in which it is, it tells them that, you know, with the settings and so forth of the JSON packages, and so it says this is Angular 7 installation. So that's what we need to change, basically. So if we're in the right directory, it'll pick this up from the configuration files and tell us, hey, you're on Angular version 7 point whatever. Okay, now to do an update of Angular 7 to 8 for this particular application. I can't remember that exact command. I do have it stuck here somewhere. We're going to come back to this screen just now as a by the way. Okay, no, sorry, it's towards the end here. Not Rust. Come on. NPM update. Okay, so we've done the NPM update, and then we have the Angular stuff. All right. Okay, so this enable IB is something I'm going to mention to you just now. That's a bit of the problem that I'm having now with Angular 8. Like I said, we'll notice something at the end here. Okay, so it's not this page. Is it this page? This page. Okay, yeah. So this one tells you, okay, well, firstly how to do an ng update. Okay, we did the Angular install of the latest, remember. Now we need to do an ng update in our actual project folder. And the command that we're going to use is ng update -- all equals true. Okay, it is going to give us an error, and then we're going to use false after that as well. But I want to show you the error, and then yeah, okay, and then there's more coming after that. Okay, so I think we should have I've got it just somewhere. Okay, there. All right, so in this project folder, we run ng update -- all equals true. All right, and it's going to try and take us up to 8. All right, but it's going to give us an error. And okay, so incompatible peer dependencies found. Now, to get around that, okay, I'm not sure it's the best solution. I hate using the words force for anything. Those makes you think that it just goes ahead and does whatever it wants to. But in this case, it seemed to help. It worked for me, so I just put in a force there, and it goes ahead and tries to do the update. Okay, and it's busy with that. It'll take a little while, so I'm just gonna stop the video at this moment in time. Okay, so it's finished doing the update. It claims to have updated one package. Okay, so for interest now, let's see what Angular version do we have running in this project. Okay, so there we are. We're up and running on Angular 826. Okay, so 834. Okay, Angular CLI 834. Okay. Now remember, just now when I ran this, it gave us saying that we've got Angular 834, but the local version, the one in this project, is 7 point something. So yes, we've successfully done the upgrade from 7 to 8 now. But what we have to do next is do a build. Okay. Oh, sorry. Before we do a build, this app was running as a 7, on which I already did a production build. And just for interest sake, I wanted to show you the size, okay, of that folder. So I do a du on it, okay, and it's 5,600K, okay. I mean, we can do it pretty as human readable, 5.5 meg, but it's 5,600. I prefer it like that, okay. Okay, so if we try and do a build now, okay, so let's do a production build. You could just say ng build dash prod, but yeah, I use configuration production. Okay, so it's going to change that size that I just showed you now to more or less same. We don't know what it's going to be, but let's see what happens when you try and do a build and if we get any errors. Okay. Again, I apologize for the sound quality, guys. It's terrible. Sorry about that. Okay, so it's very fast. So clearly it's picked up some issue here. I'm already, I think I know what it is. Yeah. Okay, so it's TypeScript. Okay. This is what I had previously in a different project as well. Okay. So what you need to do, it's telling you here, okay, Angular compiler requires TypeScript, okay, now after the upgrade, to be greater than version 3.4, but smaller than version 3.6. Okay. So we have to manually update TypeScript to the correct version. Okay, so I've got a quick cheat here. I already wrote some of these things down here. Okay, so I'll just, for fun, I'll just zoom in there. Why can't I zoom in larger text? Okay, I mean, this is not what I wanted to do. I will play with it later. Okay, so all right, so what I can do is I type sudo npm show TypeScript at star and then version 1.2.2.5 up to 9. So what this will do is it'll come and show us what are all the available TypeScript packages that we can install. Okay, but, okay, I'm not sure you have to run it as sudo, but yeah, usually my npm stuff all sudo related. Okay, so remember it said it's got to be less than 3.6. Okay, so less than this. Okay, so the next one is 3.53. Okay, and according to this previous error that was given to us, okay, is less than 3.6 but greater than 3.4. So obviously we want the latest, so we want 3.53. Okay, and so we'll just do a manual install of that. So we just go and say we steal that over and paste that in. Okay, sudo npm install TypeScript at, and then the version number 3.5.3, which we've selected, dash save. Okay, and it'll update TypeScript for us. Okay, that's done. One package order. Okay, so let's do a rebuild. Okay, now this is the point I want you to take note of. Remember the size, okay, of the folder where it does puts its distribution files in the build into is 5,600K. Okay, so let's do it now as a full-on Angular 8 build. All right, the latest up to this moment. What is it? Friday, September the 13th. South African time 11:35. Okay, this is the latest Angular with the latest npm. Okay, let's see what it does to the distribution folder. Okay, it's taking a little bit longer to build now, which tells me things are right because this project does take a while to build. We'll just give it a moment. Yeah. Okay, it's gonna stop again at 92. There we go. It takes a moment here. All right, and then it's going to change the output into the distribution folder. All right, so let's open up here so long. We're just going to rerun the last command. As soon as it's completed, should be any moment now. Come on. Okay, there we go. Done. Oh, hang on. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I should have mentioned this as well. Because we've just done the upgrade, it's got to go through this extra step that is also going to generate these ES5 bundles and so forth. As far as I know, it only does it this one time. Once your project's done, you've done your first build, it'll do that 92% chunk optimization and then stop. This step now, I think it only does the one time. So let's give that a moment as well. Okay, it's done. All right, so the distribution folder must be updated with the new code. So if we say, let's see what the new size is from 5,600 to, let's guess, more or less, more. Okay, so let's actually compare that in human readable form. So it was 5.5 meg to 6.3 meg. Okay, that's a substantial increase. Now, you can install Angular 8 projects with the option of using some Ivy thing, okay, which is supposed to let's say compress, optimize the size of their bundles and so forth far better. So the packages should be smaller, but they do say don't use it for production yet, guys. You know, do it in your personal projects, play around with it, see if it's nice or whatever, have fun. But don't put it on a production server, which I can't now do, therefore. I did read sometime, or I watched some YouTube video a couple of weeks ago, where a guy was saying that, I think it was Angular 9, the next version after 8, that is where this Ivy is actually going to be fully supported, up and running, and they claim that your distribution sizes will be much smaller than, or substantially smaller than Angular 7 even is. But clearly from Angular 7 to 8, the package size has increased. Now, we haven't uploaded this onto the web yet, okay? I haven't stuck it on my server, and there's a reason for that. I want to show you something else. So if we go back here, I'm not sure which one it is now. I think it's this one, yeah. Okay, so this is another site that I built for someone else, and okay, so everything is doing very well, but the performance is a little bit low. And the reason for that is, I mean, they're testing me from, I'm in South Africa, and you're testing me from the other side of the world, and I'm doing calls, you know, while they're rendering the page and stuff. There's API calls that I'm doing to the back end. So, you know, but the main thing is, and all the data has got to be transferred. So I'm not too worried about performance. 22 is fine, okay, for being used from overseas. Locally in South Africa, it's reasonably quick. So, and everything else is great. But now I'm going to go to this website, okay, the current one on the internet, okay, which is a Angular 7 version, the one that we just upgraded. Just before I upgraded it, that is the version that was put on the server, okay. So if I run this thing again now, okay, so against the Angular 7 one, okay, I think I'll get 82 or something like that for it. I can't remember. Yeah, 82. Okay, so but the thing to watch here is the performance. Okay, performance is 22 out of 30. All right, which is okay. Like I said, same as the other site. Okay, 22 out of 30. This one's 22 out of 30. Okay, now watch what happens when I upload the Angular 8 distribution. Let's just get to that build. Okay, so let's just do this deploy quickly. Okay, so it's going to deploy this onto the internet now. All right, so that's deployed. So we can immediately rerun this exact same page. So I'm just going to run it again. Now remember, okay, so 30-20-10, okay, for the right hand side, mobile SEO and security, and performance 22, okay. The 30-20-10, I reckon is going to stay the same, but that performance, I know it's going to drop, okay. Let's have a look. Still busy doing it. Come on. Okay, that's very interesting. It did not drop. I think this thing needs a refresh of this entire page. Something is not right there. Oh. Okay, then I don't know what's went wrong between my tests and okay, because I tested this upgrade previously just to make sure I know what I'm going to show you guys. And the performance, once I did the upload, dropped from 22 to 14. Okay, so this time it stayed basically the same, although we know that the distribution files are bigger, but ultimately everything stayed the same in this test. I do have other ones that I test on as well, but I'm not going to do that now. But let's look at the actual live site now that I've updated it. So on my YouTube site here, to the right, you can go and see, you've got a link to my website. Okay, so firstly, let's see if it reports the service status. Yes, so that means it's talking to the back end. Okay, can look at a few things, etc, etc. Okay, so the front page seems to be working. The quote of the day is correct. It also means it's talking to the API. What we can do is, for instance, send myself a contact. Okay, and then I know also the email is working, as well as, you know, notifications, in other words. So PHP is working, and the backend, everything is working fine. So I'll just send it to whatever I send you, just get sent to myself. So any email address that's semi-valid, okay. And I'll send myself a string. Okay, last one was a couple of X's. Okay, so it should tell us that it's sent successfully. Yes, it's done it immediately, so that was a nice quick send. And if I come to my email and I do a refresh, you see as from a previous test that I did already, but we should get a new email now. And there it is, and there's our contact request. Okay, so it's up and running. So, okay, well, I had problems with the 7 to 8 upgrade just now with the that speed issue that dropped drastically, but it seems okay now, so might as well just leave it as it is. I'm quite happy. It seems to be working, and yeah, there we go. How to upgrade from 7 to 8. This was all done on Linux Mint, in other words Ubuntu based. But it'll work on anything. I mean, you can basically do everything I did on Windows as well with Visual Studio Code, and installing NPM and Angular CLI and so forth. The only bit is obviously the sudo on Linux. In Windows, I assume it's going to want you to be administrator. So I just couldn't show that to you now since I'm on a Linux box. Thanks a lot, guys. Chat to you next time.